Y'all know what it is, it's the usual suspect 650-50 draw. Buy your tickets now for your chance at winning half the pie. Cash App, $ usual 50-50. Tickets on sale for $10 for one, $20 for 3 tickets, and $50 for 10 tickets. Put your desired amount, name or alias, as well as your email address, and your tickets will be set. We announce the winning ticket numbers every other Friday on Supreme Beats Boxing Talk Bullshit on the Beltway, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Remaining proceeds will go directly to the LDBC meet and greet in Las Vegas. Shout out to the LDBC, and remember,
it's a usual suspect tag.
Y'all know what it is, it's the Find the Boxer game. Purchase a box for a chance at winning $500. One of 54 boxes has a missing boxer inside. Purchase your box or boxes by Cash Apping, $ usual 50-50. Include your box number, name, and email address. Your box number will be confirmed and sent directly to your email. Each box is $20, with a 1 in 54 chance of winning. Remaining proceeds will go directly to the LDBC meet and greet in Las Vegas. Shout out to the LDBC, and remember,
it's a usual suspect tag.
Yo. What's good? What's good? It's Stormybman, and I am back. Welcoming you to Answering the Bell with Stormybman, our Sunday morning call in for this Sunday, Easter Sunday, April 20th, 2025. I want to say, for those of you who celebrate the holiday of Easter, happy holiday Easter Sunday to you. We are here. This is number 163 in the series of call-ins, and we're going to talk about the matches that took place yesterday a little bit. maybe talk a little bit about what's on the horizon for the coming weekend, because we got another big weekend of boxing coming. And my goodness, the sport is just really thriving right now. And then when you consider other aspects of the sport that have been added on, the WBC boxing tournament of the Grand Prix of boxing, which is on DAZN right now as we speak. I think it's day 3, where they are just continuously bringing the sport more and more. So much boxing that you can almost OD on the sport, you know? So it is what it is. But welcome everybody. Top of the morning to you. I hope that you were awakened in your right frame of mind today, and that you are being filled and blessed with positive vibes. You know, it's very much important for people to understand how that can work for them in their everyday lives. Yeah. So as we get ready for today, let me check and see who we got in the building thus far. Jimmy Bernard is out there early saying, "What's good, Sensei?" Salute to the chat. Happy Easter to all. Hen Dog, the fearless one, is in the building saying, "Salute, Sensei." Tay-Tay, the real queen of MMA and combat talk, is out there saying, "Good morning, Sifu. Happy Resurrection Day." Same to you. Happy Resurrection Day to the chat. Yes. Eric Jordan is in the building saying, "Stormy B-Man, salute, Sensei." Right back at you. And you guys are saluting one another. And Lewis Hinton just popped into the building. What's happening with you, Lewis Hinton? Yeah, please smash the like button as you come in. Yeah, little Easter Sunday boxing talk. Yeah. Did y'all put on your Easter outfits? Huh? You know, get ready. But to go along with those outfits, you know, you have to get you some of that product. I didn't forget, for those who might be thinking that Stormy B-Man may have forgotten, but I didn't forget, because with those Easter outfits, you got to have you some quality stuff. You know what I mean? Some quality stuff. So let me take a moment to bring this advertisement in for my brother, the Black Gentleman Grooming Company.
The best grooming items for you. It's so natural and handcrafted too. We wanna help be a swagger, style, class, and luxury. Make our products that are made for you with high quality. Yeah. So get in style with the black, yeah. Grooming company, give you swagger, style, class, and luxury. In luxury. Gentlemen Black, yeah. Company, you swagger, style, class, and luxury, yeah.
Located at www.theblackgent.com.
Yeah! Gotta get you some of that Black Gentleman Grooming Company product, man, for your Easter, huh? You get out there, you be smelling good, looking good, feeling good, and your skin is clean. You know, get you something, man. Get you something. Listen, that's what it's all about. And if you can't put some on Easter, man, be gone. Huh? Get out. Yeah! So we here, man. It's the Sunday, Easter Sunday call-in show, man. Let's talk some boxing. We had a post-fight show last night where I was a bit perturbed as the show wrapped up because I just didn't like the performance that took place in that co-main event for Fundora versus Badil. Badil gave the best that she could of efforts, but she was way out of her league and out of her size and range to be able to get anything done against the undisputed champion in Fundora. We can only hope, as I indicated last night, that Fundora would look to challenge herself and move up to another division, whether it's a couple of classes up or whatever, because right now where she is, it's going to be very difficult for anybody to compete with her. She's got that division where she is, flyweight division, cornered. And again, we just need to see her challenge herself. That's very important, that one looks to challenge themselves. Huh? Yeah. So, with that being said, we are here. The lines are open. Let's talk some boxing. I didn't get a chance to talk about this particular card last night because it happened earlier in the day over in the UK. Dalton Smith took on Matthew Germain. This was not necessarily a challenging fight for Dalton, but it was a competitive fight for Germain, who had come into this particular bout with his record of 26-2 with one draw. Fighting out of Canada, Quebec. Germain was brought in basically in a situation where it was a stay busy fight for Dalton because he's looking to challenge WBC champion at super lightweight, Alberto Puello. And he needed to stay sharp, look good, and hopefully they can negotiate a deal with him, meaning Puello, by the end of the year. But Germain did come in and try to put forth an effort. It's just that he was way out of his league when it came down to Smith. Smith is a fighter that they have groomed in the division. His record now is 18-0, and he's a strong fighter, nicknamed Thunder. He's 28 years of age, out of Sheffield in the UK. He's got 13 KOs on his record. He's strong, he's solid. And a fight with Puello would really give us an indication of where he is. Now, I've taken note of the fact that he knocked out Jose Zepeda, a former world titleist, back in March of 2024. And did away with Zepeda relatively easy in 5 rounds. Stopped him with a body shot. So this fight with Germain is kind of a step backward for him as far as the class that he's found himself. But he's still a solid fighter. He had Germain down in rounds 2, 11, and 12. He also suffered a point deduction for a low blow in the 12th round. What is it with these guys over there, man, in the low blows? I can't tell you. The fouling. It's something that's part of them. And I told you this. I've talked about it behind the scenes. I've talked about it on the air. That a lot of those fighters resort to illegal and dirty tactics when they don't have the tools or the experience of what to or how to deal with what's in front of them. You see it a lot. Class fighters can rise above the foolishness of fouling. Class fighters. Yeah. So, yeah, we got the lines open. You guys want to talk some boxing? Please feel free to grace the lines with your presence this Sunday, Easter Sunday morning. Let's talk about it. Hen Dog says, whoa, from Sheffield, the guys over there don't play. He says, yeah, you've told us numerous times. Yeah, I talk about it. You see, even now, this morning, I'm talking about this fight card, right? Who else is talking about it? Maybe some of the guys from the UK over there, of course. But isn't this not a part of boxing? You see? And we got people out here, they watching, but they won't participate. Now, I'm going to tell you something. The co-main on this card, Ryan Kelly, took in late substitute Kalman Argyako, and his original opponent, Kelly, was supposed to be someone that Kelly could be featured against because he brought his record of 19-5 with one draw into the bout. But Argyako is a fighter in the super welterweight division. This was held, who is coming on. Okay, he brought his record of 16-0 into this fight, and he took the fight on, I think, 2 weeks notice or something like that. It was a short notice. Man, he came out there and he boxed the mess out of Ryan Kelly. Just totally ruined his dance party as a co-main feature. So it does happen. Just like last night, we saw Perez upset, Conwell. You see? Conwell, excuse me. And this is what can happen in boxing when good fighters fight good fighters. Just because you haven't heard of a guy doesn't mean the guy is no good. I've talked about that. I've said it so many times. You know what I mean? And I'm here to continue to stress the point, you guys. Here to continue to stress the point because it's important that you guys know that. And I'm doing it because I want you to know that as long as you're watching the sport, there's plenty to be learned here. Salute to the brother EJ out there in that Cash App. He says, for the phenomenal content and wisdom, Sensei. Thank you so much, EJ. Thank you so much. I can't wait to do another nerd show as soon as Drew is available and can get it done, because it's because of his scheduling that we're not doing it presently at the moment. But as soon as we get it, then I'm gonna be sporting that merchandise, So I want, and I'll let you know as soon as when we get a show lined up, so you'll be aware of that. But thank you so much again for your donation, man. You're a true storm tracker here, supporting the channel as you've done, man. Thank you. Yeah. So Ryan Kelly got a boxing lesson from Argyako yesterday. And they both came into the fight having had some competitive matches. But I have to say that Argyako was the toughest fight that Kelly may have faced, going in to a match. But they still had solid faith in him in taking this fight. That's the one thing I like about the guys from overseas. They will take the fights, win, lose, or draw. And you have to take your hat off to them for being competitive in that regard. But Argyako, I call him the Black Irishman, huh? They call him Black Thunder. But he's from Belfast over there, or fighting out of Belfast. He's from Croydon, London, and kind of puts you in mind of that Kell Brook type thing or whatever. But he came in, like I said, 16-0 with 7 KOs. He's not the biggest puncher, but he's a strong guy. And his style is kind of, he likes to mix it up. He's not a solid boxer. He's not a big puncher. He's big on his heart and his effort. And sometimes at that level over there, that's good enough, right? But on the world stage, you need to add more to your talent and abilities. So he defeated Kelly, who was kind of pissed off, let's say, after the fight was over, because, you know, I don't know, they thought they were good enough to defeat Aguiarco, but they weren't. Those last minute substitutions can do you in, man. That's why these guys have got to be better about being on their P's and Q's about who they face in matches. It's important to be on top of that. Yeah. Okay, we got Shower in the building now. Shower's joined us, saying blessings, Sensei in chat. What's good with you, Shower? Universal Truth is out there. Listen. Also on this card was the return of Josh Warrington. Super featherweight Warrington, who we had last seen when he took on, I think it was Anthony Kakachi in his last fight back in September of last year. And after losing that fight, because it was his third loss in a row, the previous losses were to Lee Wood and Luis Alberto Lopez. The Kakachi and Lopez bouts were decision losses for Warrington. The Leigh Wood fight was a knockout, a stoppage. So after losing to Kakachi, Warrington did a traditional thing that the old fighters used to do. When the fight is over, you take your gloves off, you sit them in the middle of the ring, in the floor in the middle of the ring, and you kneel before them, and it's your way of resignation, saying that you're retiring. And he performed that ritual after the Kakachi fight in the ring, so people were taking it as he was retiring, which he had said he was doing. But lo and behold, by the first of the year, there were rumblings that Warrington may want to come back. And so he did come back. And against this India fighter, Asad Asif Khan, who had taken on Michael Conlon in Michael Conlon's comeback fight in March of this year, Warrington decided to return to the ring. And though it was a tough fought battle between them, Warrington did prevail. And he had Khan down in the 6th round. And Khan was also, he had points taken for spitting out his mouthpiece. Warrington looked strong. Though he wasn't going for the knockout, he was just looking to battle Khan and maybe try to break his will. One of the things that I noticed about Warrington was he wasn't using his jab enough. And a fighter of Khan status who now has a record of 19-7 with 1 draw, Warrington would be better serving to use his jab more. Though his knockout percentage is low, he's still a strong fighter. He's 32-4 now with 1 draw, 8 KOs. But don't let that 8 KOs fool you, because Warrington can punch. The Leeds Warrior, as he's known, is now 34 years of age, fighting out of Leeds, Yorkshire. He seemingly resorts to those roughhouse tactics that I talked about that they give these guys from over there, and not relies upon technical proficiency. If he were to do that, he wouldn't be in such bad situations. The grappling and holding and headbutting and all of that stuff, if he were to put that to the side and just try to fight, box, have a game plan, work the body, give angles, work behind the jab, throw combinations, get out, tie a guy up, the basics, he would be in a lot better position. But at the super featherweight division, there are a few fighters there in that division that he should still try to fight. And I'll tell you something, try another fight against the likes of Lee Wood or Lopez. Lopez was just knocked out. You know, Lopez was knocked out. So to come back and face someone like him, hey, he has come back and got a first round knockout after being KO'd by Angelo Leo. But hey, and that was in August of last year. But, you know, just because you lose to a guy doesn't mean it's over. Fight! And as long as you're trying to do that, my hat's off to you. I respect the fighters, man. I respect the true fighters. Not these pretenders out here. And we're starting to see the curtain pull back on a ton of pretenders. Guys that you thought were legit, they ain't it. Yeah. We're starting to see that. T. Berry is in the building. What's happening with you, T. Berry? Where you been, man? Been away for a couple of these lives. My brother Drew Titan just in the building saying, yo, what's happening, Drew? But yeah, man, these lines are open now. We've been on now for almost 55 minutes. Nobody has decided to call in and let's talk some boxing. But I did say I would open up talking about this card because nobody gave any shine to these guys yesterday. And you profess to love the sport. I can't tell, huh? But I do. I love the sport, and you can tell, huh? With almost 40 views here, 20 likes, huh? No participants. Yeah. It's the story of, you know, it goes on, man. Oh, and also on this card was the return of Josh Padley, man. Padley, you know that name, right? That's a guy who just happened to recently, in his last fight, in February, took on short notice Shakur Stevenson. Yeah. And it was on that big card. You know, he took on Shakur as a replacement for Kid Austin, who pulled out of the fight with Shakur the week of the fight, And Padley handled himself quite well. But he entered the Shakur fight with the undefeated record. Okay? He went into the Shakur fight 15-0 with 4 KOs. Now, Shakur did stop him. He was down 3 times against Shakur from body shots. But know this though, Padley took the fight on a week's notice. 1 week. How prepared for Shakur Stevenson could Padley have been on 1 week notice? And the pillow-fisted Shakur, people say he can still punch. I'm going to call him brittle knuckles. When he still came out of that fight, hands hurt, right? But Padley is an electrician by trade. No longer, because the fight with Shakur gave him a payday that allowed him to retire from doing that and to focus his energies on boxing full time. But with 1 week notice, he gets in there against Shakur and he goes 9 rounds before being stopped. But what you all may not know about Josh Padley, because he's from over there, 29 years old. Before facing Shakur, he was 15-0 with 4 knockouts. Excuse me. And he had been defeating undefeated fighters prior to facing Shakur Stevenson on a regular basis. His biggest win was over Mark Chamberlain, which was in September of last year on the Dubois Joshua undercard. Wembley. Yeah. Got some kind of little flea flying around my desk here. Anyway. Chamberlain was a good fighter, you guys. Went into that fight 16-0. Padley had Chamberlain on the canvas. Yeah. In other words, what I'm trying to tell you guys, that Padley is no chump. And I wonder what kind of fight he could have given Shakur had he been prepared with a full training camp. So when he took on Marko Vitanovic, who was 13-0, another up-and-coming super featherweight. Not super featherweight, lightweight. He stops Savanovic, had him on the canvas twice in the 5th round before the final stoppage. A good fighter, man. A good fighter. But see, y'all be watching and listening to all of that foolishness out there. You're not watching the sport of boxing. Salute to Jay Grant Jr. in the building. What's happening with you, Jay Grant Jr.? Coach Hudson is in the building. What's happening, Coach? Darius Gilliard has joined us. Yeah. Hendog says, I just caught the last line. Did you say Josh Padley returned? Absolutely, he did. He's back in the ring before Shakur is. How about that? And knocking people out. How about that? But Shakur is still telling you how much of the best boxer in the sport of boxing that he is. But he ain't showing you, but he telling you. Keep telling you guys, man. Pay attention. That reminds me of when Jaime Munguia fought Canelo. As Canelo got his second fight underway after beating Munguia, Munguia was already set to fight another fight. After facing Canelo, it's like you could tell the real fighters out here. The real fighters will get their butts in the ring, win, lose, or draw. They keep the ball rolling, man. That's to be commended and respected. Those are the men that you're supposed to look to. That kid Savanovic that Padley defeated yesterday, he was an undefeated fighter, a southpaw out of Serbia. Padley took him apart and brought him down psychologically. He pressed the guy. He gave him pressure. He went after him. He went in on him. It's like you could see these things in the fight. This is why you should watch boxing and just not watch certain individuals. Hen Dog. That's the whole thing. He says, I'm surprised. I thought the commission hold the fighters for a year after getting stopped brutally. First of all, he wasn't stopped brutally. Secondly, he took that fight on a short notice. So there may be some kind of, and I'm just giving my take on this now. I don't know the law of the land with this, but he came back, went right into the gym and was training and took another fight. But he wasn't, there's medical tests that you can take and all of that. But he was stopped with body shots in the Shakur fight. And what that tells me is that getting stopped to the body, he wasn't in condition, man, to fight a world-class fight like Shakur for a world title on a week notice. This is why you shouldn't look at Shakur like, oh, he really gave it to him. If the man ain't been in the gym, he was working as an electrician. His last fight before Shakur was in September against Chamberlain. He fought Shakur in February. You know he ain't been in the damn gym since February. Since September. But how about this? Joe Cordina, who's been around, Shakur ain't said his name yet. I keep telling you guys, pay attention to what's on the board. All I'm saying, man. That's all I'm saying. But like I said, the lines are open. You want to talk some boxing? Let's talk some boxing. Call-in lines right there on the screen. Today I will be a fisherman of boxing opinion, huh? I'm casting my line out into the waters. Let's see if I can get a bite, huh? Yeah, it's Easter. How about that? King P says, salute Stormy from ATL. The WBC Grand Prix tournament has some good fights on it too. Yeah, absolutely. I've already talked about it. I mentioned it Friday, and I mentioned it this morning. It's going on right now. But see, I know that a lot of you didn't watch this card, Smith and Jermaine. I bet you Shawa did. Shawa, you still out there, right? Shawa, did you watch the Smith and Jermaine card? And the only reason she may not have watched is if she had to work or she was busy or something like that. But Shawa watches boxing like I do. You know? She'll tell you. If she watched it, yeah. And see, there's another thing about this fight card poster, right? You see who's on the poster, right? There's a lot of Anglos on that poster, aren't there? But it's a fight card, isn't it? If you watch boxing, it shouldn't matter who's on the fight card poster. That WBC tournament, the Grand Prix that's going on right now, how many fighters on there are guys you know? Hardly none. Unless there's somebody from your hometown who grew up and got this opportunity and is going over there to participate in this tournament. But you don't know these guys. But why should you watch? So you can learn. You can learn about circumstances, consequences, when you can learn about the spirit of fighters or the lack thereof, technical capability, know-how, the measures of where someone has come from to be able to achieve, and to learn that the lack of preparation will leave you on the outside of things of consideration. All of this is what that's about. Hold on a second. Let me double test this line for the call in. Cause I just got a message that said it went to voicemail, but the call in line is open. Let me double check it, you guys. Cause sometimes I have to reboot it. Hold on. Okay, that was me testing the line. So it's good. Whoever that was that tried to call, please try to call again. Try to call again. Is that 386? 386. Try to call again. Okay, there we go. Okay, we got 386 calling. Welcome to the show. Who's calling? What's on your mind?
Salute, Stormybman and the LDBC and everybody. Good Easter Sunday with everybody. This is Derek Gilliard. Remember, I told you I was going to call.
Yeah. What's good with you, Derek? How you feel this morning? And happy Easter to you as well, brother.
Oh, I'm feeling mighty good, Sensei. Mighty good. I had to call, just to hear your opinion on Charles Conway L last night, like some things he needs to improve on. Because I've been going at it with people on, social media because, all the bootlickers and everybody sitting up talking about he should not say Boots' name no more or don't bring up him and Boots in the same sentence. So, I've been going at it with people about it. Like, he needs this L. He could still give Boots an L if he just work on some flaws that he got.
Well, I take it that you didn't watch my post-fight show last night.
Oh, yeah, I've been busy. I've been busy, Sensei, that's all.
Yeah, see, that's a F plus for you, brother, because you coming on here. No, listen, I'm gonna tell you, you earned that F plus because if you would have watched my post fight last night, I saved my critique and commentary on him, his performance, what it meant to me, what I thought about it, toward the end of my show. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So if you go back and you watch that, you're going to get that. But I am not going to let him ruin my Easter Sunday with my thoughts that were expressed on him last night. I'm not going to do that because I'm going to tell you something. When I went into what I had to say about that, it had everything to do with the climate of boxing today and these young men out here and their approach to everything. I've been saying things for years that ain't nobody paying attention to. From being overly concerned about your wardrobe and your appearance and not preparation for your opponents and being in the gym and being capable of taking constructive criticism and how you put your contemporaries down to raise yourself, and then it turns out that you're not even at the level that you consider yourself to be. I've talked about this for years. He's just another of these. So please, you could go back and watch like the last, I want to say 15, 20 minutes of last night's post-fight show and get that.
Yes, sir.
But we can talk about something else because I'm not going to revisit that because I signed off of my show last night with displeasure and disgust. That should give you a lead in to my thoughts about his performance yesterday.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. I will look back into that.
See, today I'm talking like you just heard me break down Josh Padley and how people, Shakur beat him and this and that. That guy's a good fighter out of the UK. Has been defeating other undefeated fighters over there. But he fought Shakur on 1 week notice. Now, what's the difference in him taking a fight on a week notice and Martin Bakole taking a fight on 48 hours notice? But they talk about Joseph Parker like he really did something. When Bakole last fought, it was last summer when he last fought. The man said he hadn't touched a pair of boxing gloves till they gave him a call to come and fight Joseph Parker on that short notice. The gloves that he used were the gloves that were supposed to be the opponent that Parker was supposed to fight's gloves. They weren't even his own gloves. The man got off the sofa in a pair of skinny jeans, which his fat behind shouldn't have been wearing anyway. I don't know what's wrong with these men walking around like that. But he gets off the plane, probably had a couple of Red Bulls to keep him on the red-eye flight up. And he goes over there and he gets hit upside the head and he gets knocked out by Joseph Parker. And they try to say, oh, it didn't look real. And then other people say, oh, Parker is too tough. He fought a man that hadn't even been training. But people, what are you looking at? The whole entire public should have been crying a foul. And Parker's talking about he deserves a title shot. Against who? A dude that's a street vagrant or something? Yeah, that's what. Yeah, because you're talking about beating a world champion like Usyk or even Dubois. These men are training.
Him and Dubois. That's who I do want to see.
You don't want to see that. Dubois will knock him out, brother.
Just to shut the critics up.
No. Listen, I am tired of fulfilling. Filling the gaps of boxing with fights that are not worthwhile. What has Joseph Parker done? He's been knocked out by Dillian White. No, he wasn't. He was beaten by Dillian White. It was Chisora who was knocked out by White. Forgive me. I'm thinking of two different guys. But he still lost to Dillian White. He didn't want to fight Tyson Fury when Tyson Fury was holding the WBC title because he was friends. That Shakur Stevenson bullcrap. But now somebody else, Usyk or Dubois, need to give him a title shot. Did you know he had a rematch clause for Zhilei Zhang and he let it expire because he didn't want to fight him again? But when you interview him, you interview him and he say stuff like, oh, I'm ready to take on anyone. Why didn't you give Zhang his rematch? You see the foolishness? And this is what I'm talking about. When people hold people accountable, there's nowhere to go. Joseph Parker has put on extra weight. We're big and we're strong. Fool, don't you know that that's not the muscle to use in boxing? Your weight, your brain, your mind, your skill set. And who has talked about him having elevated skill set in boxing? He was knocked out by Joe Joyce, wasn't he?
Oh, yes, sir.
Do you see?
Hold on, Paul.
Do you see how I point out the foolishness? All I'm saying is, this is why I tell you to watch the sport of boxing. Don't watch just certain individuals. Do you know one of the biggest con games is the bait and switch? They say, look over here. You see that? You see that glitter over there? And the meanwhile, they in your back pocket taking your wallet. You understand?
Yes, sir.
It works in the sport of boxing too. They can show you something glamorous and glittering and all of this over here. And you're like, wow, that's amazing. And they say, got him. But see, y'all don't listen to me. You rather go out there and listen to these other guys because they got numerous people on their channel and all of that, subs and, all of that. Don't mean a damn thing. Because you can have all of that and still be dumb as a box of rocks.
There's plenty of them.
And there's something that's called the blind leading the blind.
Oh, yeah.
You come over here.
The past 2 years.
You come over here. I'm trying to open your damn third eye up. Yeah.
Much respect, Sensei. Much respect.
But see, people like being dumb, brother. You know why? Because it's convenient. You don't have to put much effort into it. And if it's what everybody else doing, I can do that too. Huh? Trying to have spirit, trying to have effort, trying to be applying yourself takes something, energy. Sometimes it could be wearing on you. Sometimes it could be exhausting. But there's something born of that called gratitude, gratification. See, those people who are content and complacent and all of that, they don't know that word because they've put no efforts in. Don't you see today they like to do this thing they call dash and grab? They break into stores and grab a lot of shit and run out. What are you grabbing shit that you can't even use? You done took clothes off the rack and everything. It's women's clothes. It's men's clothes. It's babies' clothes. Grown folks, fat folks, skinny folks. What are you doing? You just went in and grabbed shit.
But they seen a whole group of other people doing it.
No, it's not about what they've seen other people do. It's a mindless act, brother. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? It's not about other people. Listen, when I was growing up, my parents used to say, if your friends go jump off a mountain, you gonna jump off of a mountain too? No. Well, what you following them for? When you see your friend getting ready to do something stupid, go the other way. Don't try to change his mind. Don't try to talk him out of it. Just go the other way and wait for the news.
I was known for that. I was known for that, Stormy.
That's good.
I was known for that.
That's good.
Yeah.
Because I bet you got a whole wellspring of stories to tell about that, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
There was a situation. My cousin them almost got killed by that situation.
Yeah. It happens. It's life. But again, when I say these things, like I said, over here, I'm giving you a foundation of facts, things that can be stacked on and stacked on and stacked on until you've built you an entire building. There's no shaky ground over here.
Mm-hmm.
Which is another reason of insult that we can have presently as I'm speaking to you. Over 70-something people looking at me, but I only got 33 likes, brother. 33. So you mean to tell me over 60-something people don't like what I'm saying or what I'm bringing to the airways, but they sitting their asses out there? What is that all about?
Something to copy, I guess.
No. No. Is it too dumb to copy? Too dumb to be original. Do you understand? Too dumb to understand their own damn existence, brother. This is what I'm trying to tell you. It doesn't require a lot to not think. Do you remember the Star Wars film?
I've seen a few of them.
The one specifically, the one where they introduced the character Jar Jar Binks.
Oh yeah, the tan looking one, the tan skinny looking one.
Yeah, the one who talked that guy, right? Okay, when Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan, the young Jedis, when they met him, and he was so goofy and tripping over himself and saying stupid stuff, he kind of talks backwards or whatever. And he says to Obi-Wan, or Obi-Wan says to him, some kind of strange life form this creature is. And Jar Jar Binks says, I speak. And Qui-Gon says, having the ability to speak does not make one intelligent. Did you hear what I just said?
Yes, sir.
Now, you see how you can put something in a movie like Star Wars, where you're watching all the special effects and the action and spaceships and all of that. That was one of the most important lines in the damn movie.
something you can take from it, something serious you can take from it.
Having the ability to speak does not make one intelligent. So, just because they out there watching, don't mean that they absorbing any damn thing, brother. You got it now?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. That's why I say what I say. Do I feel threatened by that? Fuck no. You could be watching something and it go right over your head. Oh, I missed that. How many times have you said that? Oh, I didn't see that at first.
On many occasions. Other people had to bring it to my attention.
Yeah. But how many times have you seen something and you say, wait a minute. Did I just, what? Oh. And people still watching, eating popcorn and everything. And they like, what you talking about? And like, you wait. You didn't catch that? And then you got to put them on to something. And they like, oh, wow. You see?
In my case, Stormy, they always say I'm overthinking. So I just shut up after that.
But see, this is what I'm talking about. It's all a part of the process. So when you know these things, you're already operating on an elevated level, okay? A different level.
Yes, sir.
Of consciousness and existence. So
yes, sir.
I don't be bothered with the fact of what they're doing. I point it out to you all because I want you to see the foolishness. They don't even know why they're there, bro. But they're there. I got this meme I play from time to time. You may have seen it. I put it up and it's like the coons in the tree all gathered looking. And it's got the little tune playing. It's like, do you know raccoons? They do that. They'll gather up in a group and just be watching stuff.
I'm a country boy. I live in the swamps of Florida. I know.
Yeah. You see what I'm saying? And they be like, and then out of that, one of them would do something stupid and get killed. Huh? All of them won't get killed, but one of them will do something stupid and get killed. And then all of them be looking at him. You know, it's like, that's why when people use that word that rhyme with spoon, hey, they use that word because it's the actions or lack thereof, the intelligence or lack thereof that becomes what you apply to this. You see? But they got the nerve to even get offended when you point it out to them and you tell them, hey, dummy, what you doing? I don't like who he think he is and this and that or whatever. But then they walking on off mad with their skinny jeans on, huh? Pants hanging off their ass with the underwear showing, and got the nerve to have the underwear showing and it's damn tire tracks in the back of the underwear. For some of them, there's tire tracks in the front of the underwear, and we ain't gonna even talk about that.
Yeah, they got a belt on, but they only just wearing the belt just to show off that it's a designer belt.
And then they don't wash under their armpits or their butt crack or brush their teeth. And then they try to grow their hair out like women. Huh? Braids and extensions and locks and all of that foolishness. And then they competing for women for the right to see who gets the first box of Tampax, huh? What the hell, man? These are your men out here? But when someone like me, I come up here and I say what I say, they get mad. What you mad at? Go look in the mirror. And it ain't enough men out here to say what I'm saying about it.
Mm-hmm.
In this last 5 minutes of me saying what I'm saying to you, I ain't told one freaking lie, brother. I haven't overemphasized or exaggerated. And I've given you plenty of examples and analogies to take root, to help drive the point home. See, when I ask people to call in, it's so that a conversation can be struck. I have plenty to say, and there's plenty to share. And sometimes some of you have plenty to say as well, which is why it should be a reciprocated process of interacting and let's get this done. But with 70, damn near now 100 people watching, nobody wants to call? Why do you think that is? I told it before, I gave this analogy. It's like being in a classroom. We're in school, and the teacher puts something on the board, and they tell you, okay, class, who has the answer to this problem? Who can tell me what this means? Who can spell this or whatever? And don't nobody raise their hand. Everybody looking around.
Yeah, you said that about me. Yes, what it was last week.
Yeah, everybody looking around. But you should be the first one to raise your hand, even if you got the wrong damn answer. Do you know why?
Mm-hmm.
Check this out. I want to see if you know why. Why do you think I say that you should be the first one to raise your hand? Why?
To be corrected.
No. Try again.
Or to learn from failure.
No. Because it's not so much of when you say something, if you're giving the right answer or the wrong answer, but you're getting closer. Try one more time.
I conceded that one, Stormy.
Okay. This is so simple, you ain't going to believe it. You should be the first one to raise your hand because by being proactive and taking part, the lesson begins.
Mm.
Does that make sense to you?
Being proactive and saying.
Huh?
The lesson began. What? Like, what do you mean by that? Like,
when the teacher puts the equation on the board and says, who can solve this? Who can read this? Who could, whatever the subject is. It don't have to be math. It could be reading. It could be whatever. But when they put it on the board and they ask the class, who can do X, Y, Z here? The first person to raise their hand, the lesson begins. It doesn't matter if you got the right answer or the wrong. The process begins in that moment. But if nobody raises their fucking hand, what happens?
The lesson won't begin.
Thank
They're
you.
going to be stuck on level 0.
Thank you. And then the teacher got to call somebody now. Johnny. I don't know. Susie. Is it such and such and such? No. Well, you see, it's because you did not engage. But if somebody came to school and they had a hole in their jeans, or their shoes look a little run over, or their clothes weren't as crispy as yours might be, who the first one talking about them?
Oh, man.
You done engaged where you shouldn't engage, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
Now you see what I'm saying? How being in this society and having it all misconstrued and everything and messed up, how it doesn't benefit you when you're not on track to where you need to be. But see, that comes from parenting. That comes from preparation at home. When they send you out away from your domicile, you're supposed to be packed and ready to start the day. I marvel when I go to work every day of the week and I'm driving down the street and it's before sunup and I'm smelling somebody's dope that they smoking and everything. I'm like, I'm on my way to work. Where they on their way to? They having dope for breakfast? Before breakfast?
Wake and bake.
Yeah. So it's like you're looking at this and you're saying to yourself, this is who is, out here in the world. This is what I'm competing against. Are you serious? Are you mad? You must be, because it doesn't make sense to me. Yeah. So I hope that even in what I'm sharing here, that a little bit of this and a little bit of that can be taken to fortify and help elevate the consciousness. Like I said, I'm trying to open that third eye up. Most people don't know anything about a third eye, brother. Most do not. Because they have eyes, but they cannot see. They have ears, but they can't hear, or do they listen? They have a mouth and are too anxious to speak. When the brain doesn't process, so what comes out of the mouth can be as foul as what comes out the other end after you've eaten. You understand? Think about that. How many people out here doing what I do, put it to you like that?
Not that many. Mm-hmm. I could take something from this, though, Stormy. For real, for real.
Yeah, absolutely. And mind you, I'm not talking to anyone in particular that's like I'm putting someone down. I'm actually trying to elevate you guys and raise you up. And if you move up and beyond me or whatever, that's great. I've done a great job, a great service. But we got people out here that don't even think like that. I can't let him get better than me. I can't invite him on my platform. He may make me look bad. Wow. Did you ever think for a moment to invite him on your platform, he can make you look good? You see? I didn't even want to do this. I didn't even want to do this call-in thing. Drew Titan, my brother, told me, he said, Stormy, that's your thing right there. You should do it. I was like, no, man. He was like, no, I'm telling you. And here it is. It's like, what, 3 years in, I've been doing the call-in show. And I'm steady giving him credit for encouraging me to do it. I didn't do it because I wanted to copy off of somebody. The way I do my call-in is totally different from anyone else who does a call-in.
That's powerful, man.
You got people out there right now, even a part of our community, the LDBC. They won't come in here and say, hey, Stormy, this is great what you're doing. You know, I'm benefiting tremendously. You're inspiring or whatever. They won't do that. You know why? Ego. It get in the way. Jealousy. It gets in the way. Envy. It gets in the way. Now, did I put it like that? Think about not the LDBC community, but think about our personal communities socially. Aren't those the same setbacks and drawbacks that prevent us from gaining and rising?
Yes, sir.
See, so it doesn't matter on which scale it is, does it? What matters is that you get rid of those virtues. That's what matters. And as for as long as those virtues exist, you're going to have the issues that you have. And as I've been known to say, everybody ain't going to make it.
Powerful. Yeah, I should call it more.
Yes, you should. You know, the number be up on the screen and time be going past. It's like 5, 20, 40, 50 minutes go by and nobody wants to call. I've actually had to shut the damn show down because nobody want to call. And it's not a thing of like, oh, if I call, he going to embarrass me. He going to do that. Listen, I say, let's have a conversation, right? I say, let's talk about this or that, right? And then if it talks or it leads to something, we can have a discussion. This is what this is for. Conversation rules the nation. This is what should be happening amongst us people. Instead of, listen, I ain't put no thing up there to say it's a coupon for a free bucket of chicken, huh? I ain't did that. How many responses would I get for that? The lines would be, you couldn't get through. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Like the whole Popeyes.
I ain't lying. I ain't lying. But then they get mad at that because you pointed it out. You got to make up your mind what side of the fence you want to be on. You want to be in the hen house, or do you want to be the one who built the hen house? Think about it. People love to live inside of those bars, man.
Yes, sir.
Sell blocks, huh? I'm glad they got them because I ain't going. I'm staying outside. But I'm glad they got them inside. You understand? Keep them away from me. It's like, again, it's a matter about how you looking at life. When I started this show this morning, I say, I hope that everybody woke up in their right frame of mind. Because some people just don't, bro. They don't.
That's what I've been doing lately. I've been doing, ever since I turned 29, I just been, because I turn 30 next month, so I've been on a new path lately. I ain't been drinking or smoking in the past, 2 months?
That's good, man. And you may find that the further away you get from that, the clearer and perception of reality may be. And hold fast to clarity, because clarity in a world of cloudiness and uncertainty can benefit you to make better choices and take better actions. Because the brain will start to generate thought process, and you begin able to assess and do things on an elevated level. Understand, that's how that works.
Yes, sir.
And don't forget that Star Wars quote. The ability to speak does not make one intelligent. No.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
But let's get back to some boxing talk, man. Because you called in, and like I said, but I do want you to go back and watch last night's post-fight show. And like I said, watch that last 25, 30 minutes of the show, and you'll hear exactly what I had to say about Conwell.
Oh, okay.
And what I say about him isn't just at him. It's about overall with the young men that are participating in the sport of today. But yeah, there was some good boxing yesterday, and there was some not so good boxing. Like that kid, I'm trying to think of his name. No. On the ESPN, I say ESPN. On the DAZN card last night, the heavyweights, Tristan Kalkruf and Felix Valera. Kalkruf was supposed to be a cruiserweight, and he hadn't fought in a long time, so he had some weight to drop off. So they just brought him back to have this fight at heavyweight. I think they said he weighed in at 210 or 220 or something, but he's a cruiserweight. Man, that kid, he looked horrible. And he won a unanimous decision, which I don't think that, you could maybe say he won the fight, but his efforts was totally questionable. And Valera, unfortunately, was not a fighter that could do much more than what he did. But if that kid is aspiring to fight the likes of, I think he said he wanted to face Zerto in a couple of fights or something. No, son. No. Zerto could beat that dude with one hand, man. It's ridiculous. But see, this is how these young men assess themselves, because somebody done filled their head with bullcrap. First of all, why is he fighting at cruiserweight, but he's competing in a fight last night at heavyweight that, it looked like that's where he should be anyway, but at the same time, it's like he's not that good.
I guess, I think I remember one time you spoke on it, how some of these dudes, they're more focused on, they don't want to put, the food down and none of that, I guess. They don't want to put that grandma cooking down.
Haven't I talked about that? And the thing is, it's like, if you, cruiserweight, let me see, I'm going to look him up because he came in last night, Tristan. Let me look at this. He came in, I said 210, 220. He came in at 206 3/4. That was his weight that he weighed in last night. So, he trained down to that weight before he got on the scales, right? So he was bigger than that, right?
Yes, sir.
So his last fight was against Anthony Holloway in June of last year. Now, they say he got married and everything or whatever. Okay. But June of last year, this is already April. So in 2 more months, it'll be June, right?
Yes, sir.
So 8 months ago, he got married and everything. But he came in at 206 3/4. What do you think he was before he started training for a fight?
Like they sitting down ain't doing nothing, right?
Yeah.
During the marriage. I'll say I give him about 230.
At least 225, right? Something like that.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. But you fight as a cruiserweight. Now, I'm pointing that out for a reason. Because if you fight as a cruiserweight, brother, the limit, I think, is 199. And if you're optimum at cruiserweight, you're like 186, 87, something like that. You don't want to push that 199. But why can't his walk around weight be something like 210? That's still a lot of weight to lose to fight.
Yes, sir.
Personally, I say a guy should stay within 12 to 15 pounds of fight weight when you're an active fighter. Because you spend a great deal of time of sacrifice to your body, what you put your body through in boxing training. Not only your rigorous exercise routine, along with running, road work, and things of that nature, but when you do spar, you want to be close within your fighting weight because you want to have timing, the ability to recover, and things like that. Because having fat camps, and this for any weight class and division of boxing, having fat camps where you got to take off an exorbitant amount of weight, you're still doing your training and everything, but you're getting hit, brother. And the recovery isn't there because you're not sharp. Why do you think the kid Abdullah? Yeah, that too. Why do you think the kid Abdullah Mason looks so good when he fights? Because he's fighting like every couple of months. And in between that, he's watching his weight. He's staying in the gym, staying in shape, and he's dedicated right now to his career. So it looks, you can see the work, the result. You see what I'm saying? But what happens when guys become world champions or even world title contenders and not champions? They figure that they can now rest on their laurels. You can rest on your laurels when you're no longer fighting.
They just like my dog Errol Spence.
Yeah. Now, you know what's wrong with him is this. For as good as he was showing us to be, when he wasn't fighting, all that blowing up in weight, and then, of course, unfortunately, some of the other things he was doing, you know, allegedly. But it's like, you can't do that forever. Now, some people can do it for a lifetime, but that's not the average. The average is you're going to have not so positive results as a result of doing certain things, burning the candle on both ends, so to speak. You could look at a fighter like Bernard Hopkins as a standard bearer. Bernard fought at middleweight for a very long time. Then when he finally moved up to light heavyweight, he was beating the top guys up there because of what I'm talking about. He was always in shape, always in the gym, always fight. He fought often and frequent enough and was disciplined enough in his diet that when he went in there against other guys, they just were not on par with that because they were cutting corners. They were like, you know, not as dedicated. And it showed.
Yes, sir. When you don't got to cut that much weight, you can focus on the game plan mode.
There you go. Focus on your craft. Now you take another great fighter in James Toney who did things the wrong way. James liked to spar instead of train. And he's paying the price for it today when you hear him talk.
That's me. I joke about it all the time with one of my friends, because that's one of my friends' favorite fighter, but I always say that, what you just said. Like, what you just said, I always say that about James Toney.
Yeah, because James is a fighter that undoubtedly, he's one of the best in the ring, you see. But
yes, sir.
You can't spar like for training. Sparring is supposed to assist with you in a couple of different ways. It's supposed to exist for you to have your timing of how you can get off, move, and be to show your dexterity in there with what you have to contend with in live action. And it is also to keep your edge and your sharp and crispness, okay? But you shouldn't be in there trying to spar like you're fighting. It's supposed to be learning things in there. When you hear guys talking and slurring their words and this and that didn't come from boxing matches. It didn't. It come from all of that sparring in the gym. Now imagine when a guy wasn't in his best shape and he's still taking punishment. And if you're fighting in the gym like you fight in the ring, and that's what, several times a week, and then you have a fight too,
brain just rattling in your soul.
I had guys in the gym, they want to spar. Hey, I want to spar today. I want to no, you're not sparring today. They get mad. They get mad because they were thinking in their mind that that's training. And I had a guy in the gym, he was telling me, he was like, man, he had fought in an amateur bout. And he says to me, he was like, when the opponent got close to me, he was like, I just tightened up and I didn't know what to do, you know. And I said, well, we can work on some drills for fighting in close, close proximity because he liked to move around, but he wasn't comfortable with himself being in close. So I was showing him some drills in the gym, and the next time he had an amateur bout, boy, he looked great. And he moved, he was on the inside, he was doing different things, and he didn't get the decision. And he was mad. I said, man. And we have the fight on video because I used to film their fights. I said, dude, don't be mad. I said, that was the best you ever looked. The best. You didn't get the decision, but you got the victory. You overcame what you felt was a serious setback for yourself, being close and on the inside and stuff. I said you worked it to perfection of everything that we did in the gym and everything. And I said that's what you should be. You had a breakthrough. You see, if you ever saw the film White Man Can't Jump, when Rosie Perez was telling, what's his name? Woody Harrelson. She's like, sometimes you win and then sometimes you lose and then sometimes you draw. You know what I mean? But what he did in that situation, he didn't get the decision, but he got the victory. You hear what I just said? He got the victory because he overcame what his anxiety was specifically. And he became better as a result of that. That means something, you know? But until you can apply that science, some people don't understand how that works. But I did that with him and a few others, and it's like we could see the proof in the pudding. And when you show a guy something and he sees that it works, he's more willing to do it more or go further or take your lead because he says, wow, you're giving me something that I can benefit from, something that is useful to me. Remember when I was talking about the classroom and being the first person to answer the questions or whatever? That's when the learning can begin. When you are proactive. He was proactive in telling me what he was uncomfortable about. Now, I can try to guess and think and everything, but when he comes to me in confidence and says, hey, I'm having trouble with this or that, and I give him a solution to it, now he's like, wow. Okay, he fixed it. When you take your car to the mechanic, your car got an issue. You need your mechanic to iron that issue out for you so you could go on about your business with your car, right? And when the mechanic fixes it properly and everything, don't you feel great afterwards? My car is good. I'm ready to go. You know what I'm saying? That's the way that's supposed to happen. Why is it when we're watching boxing and you could see a fighter needing proper instruction, needing to make an adjustment, and the corner man is letting them down? Because that's not what's taking place. This is why I'm so critical of them. It's called a sweet science for a reason. You got any questions?
No, sir.
I know I give you a lot. I know I talk a lot, but hey, man, it's like, you know.
Nah, it's good. It's good. It's what I need, man. I could apply this to my life for real, for real.
Of
They didn't
course.
do that much with me when I was in the military, so.
Yeah, man. And see, I'll tell you something about being in the military. See, being in the military, that's not about self-development. They're developing you for them. You understand?
Yes, sir.
To serve their purpose
sir.
and goals. And see, that's why the one thing military can really assist with you is maintaining a certain amount of a discipline. But the psychological aspect of that and everything, understand that what if you obtain the disciplines and everything, but you're doing it for self-benefit, self-development, self-elevation. you'd be a dangerous person, right?
And that's what I took from it. That's the only thing I took from it. Like, what if you can apply this to your everyday life, like getting up early and being on time with everything? You know, just being disciplined to yourself, for yourself.
Mm-hmm. But see, we live in a society that they don't want self-thinking, critical thinkers. They don't want that. They need you to be of service. And to whatever degree that may be, it is a fact. Because if you are of no service to them, they don't need you. Think about that for a moment. That's why slavery existed. Servitude to someone else, another entity, that they be taken care of, that they be privileged, that they have a foot to stand on someone else or something else. That is really it's a damning consciousness to be of that mindset. And you got people out here who are willing subjects. Freaking ridiculous, man.
Tell me about it. And people ain't gonna like it neither, because when people see that I'm changing, you know, like I told you, I don't drink or smoke no more. You know, people ain't gonna like that one, because that's all I was known for, even growing up as a kid. Like, I was always a so-called cool kid that, you know, knew all the spots and stuff and knew how to do this, knew how to do that, because that's what I grew up around.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I try to, help, by reining things in and making it where a person can see there's a different path, a different route I could take, Shit, I can hand you keys, but you the one that got to go start the vehicle and drive it away. I can't drive it for you.
Yes, sir.
So what did you think about Gabrielle Fundura's performance last night?
Oh, I liked it. I just felt like if old girl would have had some pop, and that would have probably made her a little hesitant. But she got fire in her though.
Well, the young lady Marilyn Badillo, she's a good fighter, man. She couldn't deal with the height and the reach of Fundora, and it's just unfortunate. It's gonna be that way. The girl was 5'3", man, and Fundora is like 5'10". You understand? It's like, come on. And she knows how to fight from distance. She knows how to fight at range. She knows how to fight in close. So there was no safe space for the likes of Badillo, which is why it is better that there be future consideration of Fundora moving up. She needs to move up. There was a conversation that she had that she would like to even move down one more weight class. I'm like, no, don't do that. You're just going to be bullying people.
Yes, sir. Man, that's crazy because, like I say, I much rather, I kind of favor her more than her brother. But at the same time, that's crazy. If she talking about moving down in weight, you know what their angle is. So
yeah. This is why, like, I put it out there, I can only say so much, right? I can only say so much, but I'm trying to put it out there that challenge yourself. You're a damn good talent. Challenge yourself. Move up. That doesn't mean I want to see you lose. I want to see you in more competitive circumstances so we can really make an assessment of how good you truly are.
Yes, sir.
Clarissa has done it. Clarissa was fighting at middleweight. She dropped down to junior middleweight. She went up to super middleweight. And then she went up to heavyweight. It's like she's up and down the scales, right? It's like trying to find the best competition. You see? And that's, you know, at least she tried. And when she turned pro against the likes of Franchon Cruz Discern. It's like that. Who does that in a pro debut? You know what I'm saying? It's like trying to turn pro against Evander Holyfield or Mike Tyson or something. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir. Dang, she talking about moving down.
Well, this was like last year when they were, you know, when she had won the title.
Oh,
but she's undisputed now, so it's definitely not a good look if she tried to move down, being undisputed at flyweight. Move your behind on up to featherweight or super featherweight or something. You know, don't do that. You know, go up there. Like, she probably needs to get up there with the likes of, and it would be a huge jump to like go from this year, but maybe by the end of the year, she should be looking at trying to get up there at least to lightweight, where there are fighters who are going to challenge her, you know, in different ways, whether it be because they're physically capable, or it's a great test of her skills or her strength or whatever. But hanging around flyweight and then maybe going to featherweight, that's still, even featherweight is not going to be a challenge for her.
Ain't she like 5'9", 5'10"?
She's about 5'10", man. Yeah. So yeah, I would like to see her do something like that. And that doesn't mean I'm trying. And please, this is another thing with our society of today where guys get to thinking like this. I am not trying to see her lose. I'm trying to see her in a better scenario of being able to be challenged enough where we can assess her abilities and how great her talents are. That's what you should want. That's like if you got a great car that you put an engine in and everything, you want to see what it does. You want to go out and put it on the road and open it up, right? It's like you don't want to just like let it sit in the driveway and be sitting in the driveway. You want to put it out there on the road and say, man, let me see what this sucker does on the highway. You know what I mean?
Yeah, try to go past 40 or 50 and see what can it do when you do a hard break. All right. Nah, I want to see, you know, these dudes and girls, you know, all them challenge themselves too, because I want to get a better perspective of who's good. That's all it is to it. I ain't watching them just to see them win. Like, you know, most certain people, I ain't going to say their name because, you know, they watching, but, you know, they don't want to see certain people get tested.
Yeah. Yeah, it's, you know. And salute to the chat. I see everybody out there having discussion. It's like people really talking. We got Coach Hudson out there, Jose Diaz, Gio James, Khalil, Mahari Nation Sports Podcast in the building, Jay Grant Jr. I see all you guys out there. Just want to acknowledge we got people, you know, coming in. Clarence McLean, PGH Big Dog. Good to see all of you guys out there.
Shoot. Well, this was a good conversation, though, Sensei. I'm gonna get offline now to let them have a chance to say something, you know.
Sure. Yeah, I appreciate you calling, man. You know, it's good stuff, and we had great conversation. So don't be a stranger, you know. Come.
I'm not. Trust me.
All right, brother. Well, you take it easy, huh?
Yes, sir. Salute.
All right. Yeah, Derek Gaines, brother, called in with great conversation, man. See how he drew that out? Didn't even know it was going to go like that until we start having the conversation. So, Line's still open. Anybody else want to call? Somebody can call in. We can talk a little more. Got a little more for you. Yeah. And you know, next week we got that Fatal Fury Part 1 with Eubank Jr. versus Conor Benn. I don't know how that's gonna go, but their dads have put them on the map. And it's gonna be very interesting. A lot of controversial stuff going on behind the scenes between these guys and their families. It's going to be interesting to see how that pans out. Yeah. Let's see here. You guys should take advantage of when that phone line is open, man. Take advantage. So, no calls, huh? Okay, that's cool. Well, we had a great conversation with Derek Gaines, so, you know, get a chance to go off into that good night. We can take a moment out. Hear from my man, the Focus Ball.
Get ready to take your striking game to the next level with the Focus Ball. Dramatically improved footwork, timing, head movement, hand-eye coordination, reflex, and overall fight IQ. It's lightweight and extremely portable, so you can train every time, everywhere. When you don't have a coach to do mitt work, get a Focus Ball. When you don't have a heavy bag to hit, get a Focus Ball. When you don't have a sparring partner, get yourself a Focus Ball. And when you just want to have fun punching and kicking, get a Focus Ball. When you train with the Focus Ball, you train your eyes and your brain to read punches so that you can hit and not get hit, making this very simple device a must-have for all combat sports athletes and enthusiasts alike. So if you want to take your striking game to the next level, don't wait. Get the Focus Ball now.
Yeah. So we're coming to the end of another Answering the Bell. Number 163 in the series of call-ins, man. I thank my brother Derek Gaines to call in and share the airwaves and conversation as we touched on many things. But that's what it's all about. But we're going to get ready to get on out of here. I hope that you all can enjoy the rest of your Easter Sunday, and that with the eye toward what's happening next weekend with the Ben and Eubank card, that's going to be a serious one. Just because they're out of the UK doesn't mean that they're not going to entertain. Listen, we look forward to it. I want to say shout out to the mighty LDBC, and we'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace to everybody, and like I said, happy Easter. Enjoy your Easter Sunday. I'm sorry, Darius. I'm sorry, Darius. I said Derek Gaines. I'm Darius Gilead. I apologize. That was my bad, man. I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm thinking with the D, so it's like Darius and Derek. But I apologize for that, brother. Okay. But yeah, I want to say enjoy your day, guys, and we'll be back next weekend.
entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?